Hey everyone, welcome back. We're going to do a nighttime video. Hehehe. So, in the last video, we came across a game breaking bug. It's a bug I've known about for a while. It's some I've been trying to deal with since day one. So, it's nice to finally have fixed that. I no longer have items dropping through the world ever. Ever again. Everything will stay in my world. If you guys are having this problem, I'll show you how to fix it. It's fairly straightforward. That's not how we get to our content browser. So this is my master item, and my master item is basically the parent item of all my other items. It controls all of them. So if you go into the static mesh over here, it is right down here under collision, UCCD. If you don't see this, you need to go into your project settings in here and enable CCD in your project, and this should show up. I had a really hard time figuring this out. I think it was because I was looking through here and I didn't have this enabled in my project settings, and then finally when I did, I couldn't find it in the specific thing because there's all kinds of different ways to adjust your collision and physics settings, and this is actually on my blueprint that I place in the world. Obviously you don't want to change it in your world and not on the static mesh. I do have collision settings on the static mesh that I use, but basically your static mesh, your collision settings should work now because they're always on when your item's out. And really honestly, like, the items aren't going to be out that much. Like, in a single player game, like, how often are you dropping your items on the ground? Like, let's be real. So this is like a super extra thing. I also enabled player can step up on for all my items because that seemed to fix a lot of the jitteriness. Still like a little bit there if it's like rolling, but it's not too bad now. Before we had quite a bit of shaking and jumping around, movement with the camera and stuff. So that is really cool. I am so happy to get that working. Like the gems, another problem with the gems was I was using these rock meshes up here. These ones right here, and these rock meshes are actually shrunk to half. So I was using a mesh that was about this big with collision on a rock that was that big, and then I was shrinking it down to the tiny little, like this size, and the collision was also shrinking down, that a wireframe collision was shrinking down that size. So that's why these were falling through the map and these other items were not, is because the collision wireframe was shrunk down like way too small. But the CCD thing fixes it even for those small items. But I went through and actually changed like the diamond, I think it was, to use like a different rock mesh, one that's actually like a lot smaller, and it seemed to fix it most of the time. But it still had some pretty sharp edges, which would, I guess, poke through or something. So the CCD thing seemed to fix it. Definitely use that if you're having problems. What else did we get since the last video? We got some dirt in the game, as well as some ore, which I'll talk about in a second. The dirt was an issue, and I kind of knew this was going to be an issue because dirt on the ground. And this is how I detect ray casting, right? Or detect hitting for like rocks and trees and enemies and stuff. So I was like, how am I going to do that? Like even with, crap. Let me plug in my headset real quick. Yeah, how am I gonna do that? Like with the shovel that hits the ground, like like I'm imagining the animation, and then like you're holding the shovel and you're actually like hitting the ground. Which the shovel, I haven't set up the sockets yet for the shovel and the knife. But I made the radius like just big enough to not hit the ground, and to hit these mounds, which these mounds came with my crops, so they're pretty nice, and I changed the materials on them. I can find better materials. These are just some quick ones I found for the rocks over there and these dirt mounds to test them. So these are set up the same way as the tree and rock. I made parents of all these for like the tree, and then the soil, and then the stones. Pretty much for each like weapon type, each harvestable type will have like a parent, a master parent. And what that's for is it makes it easier so I don't have to make as much code. Otherwise you would have to make code to interact with every version of the item. So instead I'm making code to interact with just the parent, and then the parent interacts with each of these children. So each of these children have a different resource, they have a different texture, they even have a different shape. So like they're completely different, but I'm interacting with the parent when I hit them with the shovel, and I can connect to them like that. Kind of complicated, but I added a big radius variable to weapons. So each weapon has like a radius now that it swings. So I'll be able to line that up with the animations, the distance and the radius. So like if I had a spear, the radius is very small for stabbing, but you can stab very far. A dagger, small radius, small distance. And my dagger is like my knife for skinning. So I kind of wanted to set this up to where you had to crouch to harvest an animal. So like if these dirt mounds were the animal, like I would be hitting it. And you kind of have to set stuff up like this because like if you were to hit the ground, it would detect the ground, and the ground doesn't give you resources, nor do you want it to. Even if you're like over top of one of these, it's still detecting the ground first. And you know, like you don't, it's always gonna just detect ground. So like you got to kind of set it up like this to where it's not hitting the ground or anything else, you know, like a tree or something. So there's other ways to do it, but this is probably the way I'm going to do it for like a third person game. And I'll just kind of line it up with the animations. I do have like a first person thing, which should also work with the animations that I'm using. You know, like this might be a little easier to kind of show with the smaller. Did I equip it? There it goes. Can't really tell because I'm not looking down. But yeah, we got the dirt mounds working. How do I get out of this? V? Yeah, we got the dirt mounds working. They're pretty much done. That's the only dirt I'm gonna have in the game is clay, mud, and sand. You'll be able to cook this into glass. You'll be able to cook this into like pottery and stuff, and then the mud, I don't know, I'll use that for like poultices and like farming and whatever else I want to use it for, I guess. It's in the game. Alright, so we got iron, and we got tin, and we got copper. These were just materials I grabbed real quick. I didn't want to spend a whole bunch of time looking for materials. I just wanted something to differentiate between them. And I set these up. I think I have to do it for the dirt. I don't think I did it for the dirt. Yeah, clay. Yeah, no, that's still just the rock. But I just used the rock mesh, and then I just applied the same material to it for the ores. So like the tin, you know, looks like that rock, and the copper looks like the copper rock, and looks pretty cool, I think. And I'll have to do it for the dirt. The dirt still has all the stone, but I can apply those materials that I made. I made these materials too. That's probably why they look so garbage. But I can apply these to that, and then it'll just kind of like look like dirt. You know, your actual item that you drop on the ground. So that's pretty cool. All these systems work with the random generator. That's what that extra item, the 1 iron ore, and the you know, 1 tin ore. So like if you don't get a special item, like if you don't get a gem. So right now all I have is gem set up for the special items and the randomness. And I tied it in for everything, but I can set up different things. Like I can set it up to where you get like bark or like resin or something from this, or you get like worms or like a grub or something for fishing. And hopefully I can set up different rarities and stuff for that. I don't know if I can do that because the gems are super rare. Like I got them like probably, honestly, I probably have them where you want them if you were playing like a long-term like game, you know. But I've only got I only get the quartz, and I got like two or three topazes, and I think I got an emerald, or no, I got a sapphire once. But the higher tier ones like the emerald, ruby, and diamonds, I haven't got those, and I've been doing it for like a little while. So yeah, I got it pretty rare. I did set up like a thing that just prints them, where like every like half a second it actually like pretends like I'm swinging, and it will just tell me, you know, and it's just like stone, 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 quartz, stone, stone, stone. And I just sat there and watched that for a while, and I did see like some of the better ones pop up, so I mean it's possible, but you know, it's per swing, so you know, it's going to take a little while to find them, which is what you want, you know, in a real game. So I think I got that working pretty good. I think I'm gonna call the video there. Pretty happy with the progress. It seems like every single day I'm fixing something like major, like game breaking, like you know, stuff falling through the map. Like, how could you play a game if you mined a diamond and then for some reason you wanted to drop it on the ground and it just fell right through the map? You know, like I would alt F4 so quick. But yeah, gonna catch you guys next video. Stay tuned.